Hello, this is the TradeSite US Stocks and Futures Market Preview for the week beginning Sunday, the 30th of June, 2024, ending Friday, July 5th. We just went through one of the dullest weeks of the year, as expected, and next week's going to be likely no better, maybe worse, unless some major thing happens. Now, I will tell you the one thing that does happen is, the only thing that might make this different is that usually you get the statements printing as of Friday. It's the half-year statements, so they all get paid their bonuses. A lot of times that's a pivot point for the market, where meaning if we've been going up, you head down after that. If you've been heading down, you head up. So anything's possible. We'll see what happens. Market continues to hit new highs. Economy remains very strong. No signs yet of anything breaking, but we're always on alert for that, especially with what's been going on with the inflation and the interest rates and the battle there, and what that could mean for the economy. Obviously, the wars around the world are hurting the inflation situation, and we're any one of those things goes really bad, that could be a big problem. So it is what it is. Here's the dollar index daily chart, still sitting nowhere in the middle of the range for the last 9 months. No big deal. Euro dollar, nothing here. Usually the inverse of the dollar index, but it's a little lower than the dollar is. It's not mid-range. It's just been separating, diverging a bit. The pound dollar has been so flat for a year almost now at this point in time. Just ridiculous. The ES front month futures contract, this is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form, the September contract. And we got, right hanging near highs. I mean, I think we almost swept new highs on Friday for a minute. But again, look how flat those 5 days were, the last 5 days. I mean, it's just really boring because end of June, summer, and statement printing, it's just not great. Here's the S&P cash. You can see it a little more clearly here. NASDAQ 100 also hanging near highs. I think this did sweep to new highs for a minute on Friday, but it is what it is. The Russell 2000 kind of up there as well. So, again, we're, as strong as the economy can be, as strong as the markets are, that's where we're sitting at. Just waiting to see if, anything breaks because of what's going on with interest rates and inflation, and still hasn't happened. Crude oil also back up. I was flat this week for the most part until Friday, a little spike up, but I mean, 81.54 is not really up compared to where it's been mid-range for the year. Let's just call it that, and see what happens. In terms of in terms of Bitcoin, we're sitting down now. So this thing came back down to 60,500 from being up at 75,000 almost at one point in time. No breakout here. That 13 sell signal was the high of the market here. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, until Friday, nothing. And then Friday kind of tanked a little bit after the debate. So, bonds down, rates up, as they say. I think everybody's concerned about higher inflation if Trump were to win. We've got the VIX sitting at 12.44. That's pretty low, and again, causing why we're not really moving in the markets. Advanced decline ratio on the New York, pretty narrow. I mean, it's not like we got some extreme numbers, so it was back and forth all week, but no real big numbers. The trend closes at 0.94. That puts the 10-day moving average at 1.09, which is the orange line. That's not even close to being under the blue line, which is 0.85, so it is what it is. ES a 10-minute chart. So the far left is last Friday, right? So look how flat this whole week was, except for this Friday. So flat opening on Monday, tried to pop up, nothing, came back, sold off late. Tuesday gap back up a little bit, filled the gap, came in. So at this point we're dead flat for the week. Wednesday small gap down, filled that, dead flat. Now we're dead flat for the week again. Thursday small gap up, eventually filled it, dead flat until the last 30 minutes, dead flat for the whole week at that point. And then Friday, a little gap up, and we shot higher, but again, then sold off and closed negative, after the debate. So it is what it is. NASDAQ 100 also closes flat for the whole week, basically. So this is what kind of we expected going into it. The volume, there's a spike because of the end of quarter on Friday, but mostly basically around let's call it 5 billion shares on average most of the week. It is what it is. All right, in terms of individual stocks, Apple got a 13 sell signal on Thursday and then promptly rolled over a bit on Friday. Amazon almost near highs Meta, almost near highs Google, at highs, made new highs this week at one point. Goldman Sachs, not much there, to be honest. Netflix, basically holding at highs. Tesla, finally starting to pick up a little bit of the slack that it's been suffering from recently. Nvidia, I gotta adjust this chart for the split, but pretty flat right now. Zoom, nothing there, and First Solar coming back in a bit, obviously hurt by the prospect of Trump taking the lead potentially after the debate, because all we're going to do is oil and gas if that's what happens. And I don't suspect that's what's going to happen, but we'll see. In terms of economic data coming out this week, by the way, let's talk about the roadmap for the week first. So this is the problem. First week of July is 4th of July week. So sometimes you see the market really pivot and change direction. So like, for example, if the 4th of July is on a Friday, then, you might get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, change direction, and then Thursday people start to leave town. Friday's 4th of July. Problem is, this is 4th of July on a Thursday, so people are going to be leaving town on Wednesday. Mostly probably take the whole week off. We'll see if we'll have to judge Monday really quick to see if there's a change in character, because the statements are printed and everything else, and if they expect anything different for the rest of the year. I think the next 2 weeks is going to kind of lay out whether there's any real issues. Obviously, we know that September and October are more negative, usually bottom out in October and then bounce back up in November. But, if there's a real problem, just keep in mind that any recession is led by the stock market 6 to 9 months out. And so if there's going to be a problem anytime soon, we'll probably start to see it in the stock market now that the statements are printed. They all got their bonuses fairly soon. So I would say the next 2 weeks. But again, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, people, if they even are around at all, Wednesday people start to leave town. Thursday we're closed for 4th of July. Friday we're open, but nobody's going to be here. I won't be here. I'm not trading Friday. I think it's insanity. So just don't even bother with that. But we'll see what we get. In terms of economic data coming out this week here in the U.S. in particular, on Monday, we've got the final manufacturing PMI number at 945, ISM manufacturing and prices at 10, along with construction spending. Tuesday, we've got JOLTS job openings at 10, Ward's total vehicle sales. On Wednesday, we've got Challenger job cuts at 7:30 a.m., ADP non-farm employment change. That's the one the Fed likes to look at 8:15 p.m. a.m. Eastern Time. The weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, because of the Thursday holiday, they'll come out on Wednesday, along with trade balance. That can be a big deal. Final services PMI at 9:45, ISM services PMI and factory orders at 10, crude oil inventories at 10:30, natty gas at noon. Thursday we are closed. Friday, the unemployment rate comes out. So on that day that no one will be here, the unemployment rate comes out. I don't expect anything major on that one, by the way. It's just a matter of where the non-farm numbers come in. So again, I think this is going to be a big wasted week. It's usually when the 4th of July, especially, is Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, which it is. This is usually the second slowest week of the year, the slowest week being the week between Christmas and New Year's. So I wouldn't get too excited about anything, but we'll see what we get. We'll definitely check it out Monday. If Monday's not exciting, I don't want to tell you to take the week off, but take the week off. Charts, as usual, brought to you by NinjaTrader. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.